The Rangers defeat the Colorado Avalanche 2-1 in the shootout, and this was vintage Igor. And he outdueled Alex Georgiev. So the Rangers lost to the Avalanche earlier this season at MSG in the shootout, and Georgiev was very excited about it. It was frustrating. And this time, Igor was not going to let that happen again. And he made 41 saves. This was the Igor that we saw last season. And the Rangers really didn't play all that well. The first period really wasn't good for the Rangers, but they kind of found their game. Second period was better. Third period, they did enough. And they find a way to get the victory. And, for them to get 4 points at Vegas and at Colorado, granted, they faced teams that weren't at full strength, but no one's going to feel bad for those teams. And the Rangers have certainly given up their fair share of points. So you get these four, and the Rangers have been very good on the road. They're 9-4-1 now on the road. Igor specifically has been excellent away from MSG. The Rangers really needed this because, again, their competition keeps on winning. This is a night when basically all the competition that was playing tonight won. So the Rangers needed to win. They now improved to 14-10-5. And like I said, it's good to see Igor in this, playing this way. Hopefully he can continue this. And next week's going to be very interesting. You have the Devils, who just lost tonight to the Islanders, so they'll be a little upset. Now, the Devils are on an 11-game road winning streak. They lost their first game of the season at Philly, and they've won 11 straight on the road, including one of those games versus the Rangers. So the Rangers, it could be a springboard time, which is crazy to think, but it's just the truth against the Devils. You win that game, and all of a sudden, then you improve the win streak to 4. That'll be a very interesting game. And then they'll face the Toronto Maple Leafs, who've been playing really good hockey. So 2 games at MSG where they've struggled against 2 of the best teams in the league. And hopefully they can build on this. But, like I said, really rough first period for the Rangers. I know the altitude is a bit of a thing and getting used to that, and I guess that can be an excuse, but it was good to see the Rangers bounce back with what I thought was a good second period. And even though they were outshot 11-5 in the third, I thought there that they did more than enough. I felt like I don't think they were getting. That's a little misleading, that shot count. And this was a game that only had 1 penalty each for each side. So basically an even strength game. And the Rangers, they played well, especially Igor. As far as housekeeping, Ryan Carpenter was placed on waivers and cleared waivers, and so he was sent down. So in essence, Johnny Brodzinski has taken Carpenter's spot, which I'm completely fine with. Vitaly Kravtsov continues to be a healthy scratch. I wouldn't keep that going much longer, and I know since they won, I'm going to guess Kravtsov's going to be out again, but to me, I look at it and, I'm not feeling good about it. Jimmy Vesey, I didn't think he played all that well tonight, but he did play 17 minutes, which is kind of insane that he'd be playing that much, but he did, and so there's no hope there. And for me, that would, I guess, leave me to Sammy Blais, but again, I don't see it happening. So I think Vitaly Kravtsov, unfortunately, is going to continue to ride the pine, which I don't really agree with, but, hopefully as soon as they lose, he's back in there. But it shouldn't even come down to that, but there we are. But for the Rangers, they really did what they had to on this trip. And like I said, first period was really ugly. Really, really ugly. They were, I guess you could kind of say they were lucky to only be down by 1. I mean, that might be a bit strong, but the goal that Colorado scores is by Mikko Rantanen, his 16th goal of the season from Newhook and Girard. And it was off a face-off win. Zibanejad loses the face-off. Nice little passing play. Newhook finds Rantanen in the slot. And, Lindgren might have screened Shesterkin. I'm not sure. But either way, Rantanen makes it 1-0. And, Rantanen, they needed him because, there's no McKinnon for Colorado. There's no Landeskog. No, who else? No Arturi Lehkonen. No Evan Rodriguez. And that's just to name a few. There's a lot more than that. They did get Nichushkin back, Colorado. But Rangers were down 1-0. But the second period was a lot better. And it is the Panarin, Hedl, Goodrow line that gets on the board. And it's a goal by Braden Schneider. It's been great to see Braden Schneider scoring goals. That's his 4th goal of the season. And it feels like all 4 of them have been within the last few weeks. And he continues for whatever reason. He seems to do well in these road Western Conference games. He seems to score his goals. Just probably pure coincidence. But this was a play where Goodrow sort of chips it up the ice. It's a 2-on-1 potential play between Panarin and Hedl. But then Schneider, really smart, pinches in. Panarin, I don't know how, Panarin's like he has eyes in the back of his head. Panarin drops it back to Schneider, and he fires it past Georgiev. So really nice goal to tie it up at 1. That was the one Ranger goal. And it was a big one. So the Rangers tied up at 1 there. And I felt like the Rangers, it was a much better second period. Shots were 15-14 Rangers. I just felt like they were a little bit quicker because the speed disparity was evident in the first period. Colorado was a lot faster than the Rangers. But the Rangers, they keep that tie going to the third. And that record when tied going into the third is improving. They actually only have one regulation loss. It was just so many overtime and shootout losses, which almost happened again. So now with this win, I think they're around 8-1-5 when tied going to third. So not terrible. Really, it's becoming better. So the Rangers' third periods, I think, have improved. I thought tonight was another example where the third period was not bad. On the road against a hungry team. Let's keep in mind, Colorado was on a 3-game losing streak. They had just been shut out against the Bruins. And that's a team with a lot of pride. It's a Stanley Cup winning team that still has good players. Again, they're so deep. You still have Cale Makar, Devon Taves, like I said, Mikko Rantanen, JT Compher, Nichushkin. So, this is not a lineup that's completely devoid of talent. But there was a non-call that was a little bit frustrating. Barclay Goodrow finds himself on a breakaway, and I wish that Goodrow had shot it. With that being said, he was taken down, no call. Then soon thereafter, the first penalty of the night is on Chris Kreider. He holds former Ranger Dryden Hunt, but the Rangers penalty kill does a really nice job. They kill it off, and the Rangers get their one power play as Mikko Rantanen interferes with Mika Zibanejad at 7:46, but the Rangers power play doesn't get it done. And I felt like the Rangers, the last 5 to 10 minutes, there were some scrambly moments. There were some scary in front of the crease plays with Shesterkin, and luckily he was up for the challenge. But I thought the Rangers did a pretty good job of possessing the puck, and they had, they were cycling, they were doing what they had to. And so they get this game to overtime, which in and of itself, pretty good, but considering where the Rangers are in the standings, really important for them to get the 2 points. And in overtime, my one gripe again is I don't understand why Vincent Trocheck, who's good on faceoffs, and I thought that Trocheck didn't have the best game. Really, Jimmy Vesey, I thought, really had that line in general wasn't great, but it got a lot of ice time. But I didn't think that Vesey was very good in particular. Fourth line was decent, but they don't really get much ice time. This is a 3-line team for Gerard Gallant. The Brodzinski, Blais, Gauthier line just doesn't get all that much ice time. But again, I just don't. I think that Trocheck should absolutely be the one to take that opening faceoff. And overtime, it doesn't happen, so Colorado had a lot of puck possession, but not a whole lot of chances until the very end. And that happens sometimes where the Rangers kind of take their last chance, and Colorado goes down an 9-man rush with a really nice save by Shesterkin in the final seconds of overtime to help us go to the shootout. So we go to the shootout, and now this is what had happened the first time in MSG, and Georgiev, and that one went 4 rounds. That one went at least 4 rounds. It went 4 or 5 rounds. That one went beyond 3. This one was a lot quicker. And surprisingly, Vinny Trocheck goes first, which ends up, that's a little bit risky because if things don't go your way, you could lose it and not have Zibanejad and Panarin go. Luckily, Igor was good, and that wasn't a problem. But Trocheck, it looked like he had Georgiev beat, but he lost control of the puck. It ends up looking like a pretty ugly attempt for Trocheck. That was an interesting decision. But anyway, then JT Compher is stopped by Igor. And then Mika Zibanejad, really decisive. It was good to see Mika and Artemi Panarin score. They've historically been really good in the shootout. That's an advantage. And it's funny, this was only the second shootout for the Rangers this year. Ironically, the first one was against Colorado. And Zibanejad scores, gives the Rangers a 1-0 lead in the shootout. Then Rantanen is stopped by Shesterkin, and then Panarin for the win. And he gets me nervous. He gets so close, and he's making all these moves, but he's able to lift the backhand past Georgiev. Really impressive goal by Panarin. And it gives the Rangers the win. Georgiev leaves a loser. Rangers are happy. It was pretty funny seeing Keandre Miller's expression on the bench after Panarin's, pretty awesome move to score and win the game. But that felt good for the team. Even though it's really a skills competition, when you lose the shootout, it still has that stinging feeling. So it was good to see them win. And I know it meant a lot to Igor. I think for Igor to beat Georgiev, I don't think he wanted to lose twice to him. Just like I know it meant something for Georgiev to beat Igor. I think Georgiev sort of unfairly views Igor as sort of a rival to him. You can tell there's animosity from Georgiev, which I don't really quite understand, but that's whatever. So it really feels good to win this one for that goalie matchup. I think that's a story in this game. So like I said, Rangers head home, but they win both games at Vegas and Colorado. Definitely did not expect that, but very happy about it. And now they really need to improve things at home. Let's remember the last game, it was ugly, but they did win at home versus St. Louis Blues. But this is a whole other animal. The New Jersey Devils, who had a tough loss to the Islanders, didn't really play all that well. And this is a game where the Rangers, they lost to the Devils a few weeks ago at home. So they really are going to want to win this one. And so this week, like I said, Devils, Maple Leafs at home. Rangers need to find their game in MSG. If they're going to want to make the playoffs, 5, 6, and 4 is completely unacceptable. That is just really, really bad. 9-4-1 on the road, that's amazing. Really, really good. So hopefully they can, let the good times roll, feel good about this, and get ready for what should be a really interesting game against the New Jersey Devils back at MSG.